Hello, Kathy, and thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed this evening. Not interviewed, it's more of a casual chat. Pick your brains, really get to know what's happening out there because you're running a big, massive kitchen bureau in Cardiff city centre and now opening on the back of this COVID lockdown. So can you share with us, Kathy, number one, what the feeling is, now that lockdown is easing off and you're opening up the bureau again?
Well, we weren't sure what it would be like, so we thought we'd just test the water last week. So we opened up just with our showroom manager, and he went down to set up all the safety precautions, the sanitizing stations, to show and ways of showing people to go, which way round to go round the showroom, and just to make it all safe. And it's wonderful because the phones are buzzing because people basically just want to spend money, and wasn't expecting that. I was hoping, but I was trying to be realistic, thinking, oh no, people are going to be frightened. But no, they're fed up of looking at their homes 24 hours a day, looking at the same four walls, and they're not haven't been spending money, and they're cancelling holidays and thinking, right, why not spend this money doing up the house? So it's been quite good. So
if it's a business that's opening up, then do you almost have to clean everything as your first step to going back?
Yes.
Happening.
Hello.
So, can you take us through that, Kathy? What is that all about? When people are going back to work, in some ways, has it got to be COVID cleaned?
It does, yes. So we've had to get PPE for everybody. So they've all got a mask and gloves, and they're all very responsible for their particular areas. So their own stations and where they go. So it's just getting into a routine of just cleaning up behind you. And so we've also got PPE for people when they come. So it's by appointment only at the moment, so that we can manage numbers safely. But we ask everybody, could you please wear your own PPE? Because we don't want to run out either. It's like gold dust trying to get hold of it. So yes, we've got that. But most people come in, they've been quite sensible, and they've come prepared. So yes, it's just a question of getting new routines in place. So when you come in the morning, don't trust that the person before you has done everything. Just be responsible for your own space. So everything that you touch, just wipe it down afterwards. And at the end of the day, do the same, ready for whoever's in tomorrow.
You mentioned earlier that before we came on record, that you actually bought this machine with, it sounds like almost like an infumigation machine. Can you explain that to me?
Yes, it's called a fogging machine, and they used to use them on as for pesticides. So you go along the crops and you just fog the crops. But now we're using them indoors. So there's this special chemical, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll look it up for you. And there's only one place you can get it in the UK at the moment. So we've got that, and it's just like disinfectant. You put a bit in with water, and you just it's like you're spraying, but it's like a fog comes out, and so that it's a very, very fine mist that covers all the surfaces. So it kills any germs, any viruses out there.
Of course, that's ideal in a almost like a fog machine, because as you say, it gets everywhere.
That's right. Yes.
And how often do you have to do that?
Well, I think it depends on your business and how many people are coming. So if we don't get anybody in, if we don't get a crowd in. So for example, for our business, it'll probably be Fridays, Saturdays, going to be our busiest days. So definitely fog down at the end of the day on both of those. And then it's usually just the designers in, and they look after their own desks and stations and things. But if you were like in my B&B business, got to do it all the time. every time, you know, somebody new comes in the building, you've got to fog down every surface because you don't know what they've touched. You know, and you've got to also got to make people feel secure and safe. And yes, that you're.
Wait, Kathy, am I hearing this right now? You fill your place with fog.
Oh no, you direct the fog.
Oh.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's like a spraying machine, but fog comes out of it.
Cool. Ghostbusters.
Yes. That's the one. Yeah.
And you're saying that customers are coming in prepared. How are the customers coming in to your showroom?
Well, most people have got masks, those little blue masks. And what you've got to find we've got to do though is show them how to use it, because they're just putting it on over their ears. They don't realise you have to pinch it above your nose and then pull it round and extend it so that you're completely safe round here. Yeah. Yes. So they wear that. Sometimes people just got a scarf wrapped around their face, and in which case we just give them one of our masks, and you know, because it's not going to be very comfortable for them. But
how do you think this is going to go on for, Kathy?
Well, I don't think we're going to have inoculations until late 2021 at the earliest. And then, you know, if you've got to inoculate 65 million people, I don't know, this could go on for a couple of years. So it's just going to be our new normal, our new reality. We've just got to get used to it.
Wow. And how are your employees feeling about working in those constraints, really?
Oh, they are just so happy to be back in work. Yes. It was a worrying time being on furlough with nobody knowing what was going to go forward. And there's a lot of business are disappearing. Right. Just walking down our high street, I would say a third of the shops in the Monmouth High Street, they've gone. They've just packed up. They're not reopening. They're just empty shops now. It's quite frightening. And you just think, oh, it didn't take long, did it? Oh. So that's just now.
What shops are they then, Kathy? What type of shops are they that are just giving up?
Hairdressers.
Yeah.
Clothes shops.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of the clothes shops. Even for example, we've got a very successful shop, Salt and Pepper, and you know, the owners like billionaires, and they make a lot of money doing kitchen gadgets. Fabulous, you know, everything you can imagine to go in the kitchen and catering, lovely stuff. And they last year opened a shop next door to them doing fabulous clothes. So it's all top designer gear, beautiful. And they've packed that up. They've just packed it in. Now you know that the lease is still going to be running there. So that wasn't an easy decision for them to do. And they're billionaires. So they could have, you know, had done a vanity job and just kept it open, but no, they've seen the writing on the wall. So yeah, I don't know, difficult.
I suppose what I find confusing is that Tesco's and the big superstores are open, selling everything: bed, clothes, homeware, everything. Yet the small shops to me are the ones that I feel have suffered, because if a big supermarket can continue trading, why are the smaller shops really, you know, restricted in that way? Do you have a view on that?
I would think that they don't have the same power to negotiate their leases with their landlords, because that's one of your biggest problems is your rent. So I was very lucky, very early on. I got hold of my landlord and we talked turkey, and he was either looking at having an empty building for the next few years because who was going to come into my size space, or he could, you know, take a much reduced rate. So, you know, that's what we did. So you have to, as I said, see the writing on the wall, go to all your suppliers and say, right, come on, we need to sharpen the pencils here. We're in this together. You know, how are we going to get through this? So I've been talking to my suppliers. Some of them have disappeared. Some of them have gone. Our high-end kitchen suppliers out of business. Wow. So we are now with our kind of mid-range, and I'm looking for new suppliers. But with the mid-range, we're saying, right, we are now having to compete. You know, I use the word bloodbath. It's always a good one because I don't want to frighten people, right? But it's a really good one to use with your suppliers because you're saying, mate, right, bloodbath out there. How are we going to, how am I going to give you the business when I'm going up against this, and this? And, you're going to have to come back to me with much sharper prices. So you just be blunt with them. And they want the business. They are absolutely terrified because they've got a lot more to lose than a small business. So so back to the high street. I think they've got those issues. Clothes, people, where are you going to get dressed up to go out to? We as women, we've got an event coming. Oh, it's a good excuse. I'm going to go splurge. No, I'm not now, am I? No.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah, for all you know, I might just have this on and be in my knickers. You don't know. Nobody cares. So clothes taking a hit. Hairdressers, that's a surprising one because everybody needs a hairdresser. And, but again, they're the type of people that can go door to door and they will have their own customers. I mean, we don't go to a hairdresser because we like the shop or the owner. We go because that person just cuts my hair just right or colours it just right. So we go with that person. So that person rings me up tomorrow and says, Kath, I'm doing home visits now. Fine. So, it's just a thought that might be what's going on. What else? Yeah. So places that are doing convenience stuff working really well. And places that deliver. So Tesco's now, the other thing as well, you as a person stuck at home, you are managing your risk. So when you go out, you're thinking to yourself, right, I've got to get X, Y, and Z. Am I going to go to 3 shops and expose myself to 3 different risks? No, I'm going to go to one place, in and out. So what's that going to be? It's going to be a department store. It's going to be Tesco. So that they will survive. And also, but mainly I just get Amazon, deliver, and then I know they're coming. I put the garage up. I say just put it in there, leave it in there for 3 days quarantine. Now I can open it. I've got no stress. I've got no worries. Yeah.
So are people ready to buy? Do you think people are ready to buy, and what things are they ready to buy?
People are desperate to buy. They've got money burning in their pockets at the moment. They haven't been spending it on petrol. Now they're spending it on holidays. They're cancelling their holidays. And luckily, most of the holiday people are being very fair about it and returning people's money. And what they're trying to do is find a better way to live at home. So it's an ever-evolving situation, which is why you need to be talking to all your customers and finding out what their thoughts are with your particular product. Like with kitchens now, they're realizing that they can't work there with their laptops, get all their files out, homeschool the kids, and cook all the meals all day. You can, but it's not very comfortable. So now you're thinking, oh, actually, I thought this was the kitchen of my dreams, but my dreams have now changed, So they are willing to spend money to make themselves comfortable. And they want to make themselves safe. So, people are looking at their homes now and they're repurposing and rezoning rooms. For example, now, it's a lovely idea to sit of an evening with your teenage kids. You think, oh, I've got a bit of time with them. But when they're in there 24 hours a day, talking the nonsense they talk with their friends and playing those inane games, suddenly it's a really good idea that they've got a spare room upstairs. No, that's your lounge, love. When you just want to sit back and enjoy your box sets and have a peaceful time, or just do your work. It's so we're using our homes differently now. So if people just start talking to their customers, because if you're not talking to your customers, other people are. That's the thing now. People are adapting very, very quickly. So I know you and I have been talking about the kitchen office. So we're developing ideas around that at the moment. And I've gone back to my suppliers and saying, look, we need this. And we found a couple of really cool suppliers we're talking to now who have also seen the need there and are jumping on that. And luckily our competition isn't. Yeah, or at least they're not talking about it. So that's how we're going to survive. We're going to be innovative. But we can't see a crystal ball. The only thing that we can do is get feedback. So you've got to do your homework. You've got to talk. Don't be frightened. Talk to your customers and talk to previous customers. Just ring up and say, oh, you bought so-and-so off me last year. How's it going? Because you might be able to sell it to them again, because they now might need another version for another generation of their family that's stuck in a house with them or whatever. So don't be frightened to go back and talk. So at the moment, I've got my staff just going back through all the customers we've had the last 2 years since we opened, going back saying, oh, we did that kitchen for you. It's good, great. So we do home offices. We do garden kitchens now. So if you're starting to entertain people and you want to keep them in the garden, right? This is what we do.
Bedroom kitchens for teenagers.
Absolutely, little mini kitchens. Yes, that's great. And for landlords as well, because people in houses of multiple occupation, they don't want to share kitchens anymore. No, you want your own little space. So so I've thought about things like mini kitchens and that, but you have to niche. So that's too, I'm not going to make enough margin on that for myself. But so I want to go more upmarket. I want to be more of a kind of leader in design and higher end stuff. So we're looking at more pizza ovens and things like that out the back, that kind of barbecue lifestyle. So extensions, so outside living. So we're looking at that. At the same time, though, this is Britain. So people might have that in their mind. Then, we also have to be able to incorporate that in a normal inside kitchen. Yes.
So as a woman in business, I've noticed that a lot of women now are setting up businesses from their home more than ever. And they can see this as an opportunity because if the kids are there or not, they can still run their business. And I'm seeing a lot of people now spending time at home, doing more hobbies, taking their interest further. And so there's a lot of new women emerging in business. What advice would you give them, Kathy, especially at this time?
Well, I think it's a brilliant move. And I think that you just got to get out there. You just got to be brave. Just lots and lots of social media, and just tell people what you're doing, and ask people for feedback. Ask people ideas. So I'm thinking about doing this, offering this, because we've got to find out, if you're not solving a problem, then you're not really in business. So what is the problem? And there's a lot of problems that are coming down the road at the moment that we can't even imagine. But other people out there are hitting them before us. So I would try and build up a presence online. And following other kind of leaders in your industry as well. See what they're doing, comment on what they're doing, and see what their followers are commenting on. Yeah, so just be out there, be present.
Right. And how long do you see this going on for you, Kathy? Can you see this?
It's gonna be quite a while, yes. But I'm getting so much more done. Sat at home, it's great. Yes, streamlining things. I was spending so much time in the car before, and you convince yourself that you need to be there. You need to see what's happening. You need to look a person in the eye when you're talking to them, and that. Actually, you don't. No, we just got to learn to cope like this, like we are here. I didn't want to do that, but now we're here and doing it. Actually, it's great. It's working very well. So I think you just be strict with yourself. That's the thing, is timetabling. Yes. So setting yourself a certain amount of tasks in a week and assigning certain hours that you're going to be doing it. And you've got to shut yourself off from other people in the house as well. You just go, so sorry, love, for the next 2 hours now, I'm doing this. And then you say, right, okay, we'll have a nice lunch now, or whatever. And because otherwise, days can drift, and you might have a few crises. We all have them. I went to the opticians yesterday because my eye has been playing me up, and I got cataracts coming. Whoa, massive drama. I was a day wasted. Then it's like, no, shake it off, get on. And but also, like with staff and with supply, all the people you're dealing with, they've all got dramas going on, and it's very easy to get caught into this. But it's a place of work. You've still got to get that work done. So timetabling yourself. Also, it's good as well to anchor. So I've been trying various places in my home to see what works best for me. Yeah. And I've kind of found the place now. So I can do my Zoom meetings here. It's all kind of safe behind me. There's no people wandering naked past or anything like that. It's away from the sounds of the kitchen and all the other stuff happening in the house. And yes, and I've got, because I got various businesses, I kind of got little zones now. So, because before I used to go to those businesses and talk to those staff and customers and everything there. And now, because I can't do that, so to get in that kind of mode, I've got, I don't know if you can see, I've got, it's going to be a mess. I've got various like boards up and around. So what I do is I write up my various issues that I've got in that business and things to remind myself to be focusing on. And so when I'm dealing with those emails to do that, I go and stand there or sit in front of them. Like, okay, so when I speak to Jeremy now, I've got to remember, I've got to talk about this, and did he get that? And I just get in that zone as if I was there with him in spirit. Yeah. And then I've got to go to the hotel now. Okay, the hotel, right. And I just put myself in a slightly different physical space. And now I'm all about Clive Lodge. Right, what are we doing here? What do you mean you want your deposit back, you bastard? You just set fire to my floor in 5 different places. That's what I had to deal with yesterday. This idiot. He's got £200 deposit, which this is what I take now when people come to stay, so they don't wreck my flats with these druggy parties they like to do. So I say, £200, and you can get it back if it's nice. And then he's like, how much are you going to give me back then? I said, hang on, I've got to wait for my cleaners to go. Well, my cleaners won't go until you've had 72 hours to make it safe. So we go in, and oh my God, they set fire 5 different places. It's going to cost me £1,000 to replace the flooring. And he wants to get change out of £200. And that's not the end of it. Oh, we had this horrible bomb things they use, and stick everywhere. And anyway, so I'm in a certain place. I deal with all of that, and I get through all that stuff, get out of my system, and I make a whole new load of to-do lists there, and I put it up while it's fresh in my mind. And then I think, right, okay, I've neglected this business now, so then I go, right, bureau, what are we doing over here? So that's me. I mean, everyone's different, but I find I've got to physically be looking at stuff and be there, because I can't be there in person anymore.
You think it's made you more efficient then, because you're not traveling, and you're just shifting your mindset, really, aren't you, as opposed to re-maneuvering the car in a different place. So do you think you will ever go back to that, or will you still want to spend a lot of your time in a home office?
Oh no, I'm going to stay here as much as I can. It's great. I'm not driving. I was spending 3 or 4 hours a day driving. Well, there's a lot of risk attached with that, and get tired, and especially if you're developing a cataract, that's not fun. So no, I'm going to, that energy and that time, and I was using it before, because I used to get Audible on, and I'd get all my reading basically done as I drove. Yeah, so that was useful. But being here, I just get so much more done, and the money of spending on petrol, just between £100 and £200 a week. Where's that going? It's ridiculous. Someone somewhere's got to pay for that. So that money's being saved. My energy's being saved. Before, I couldn't get to the gym. Right? I joined gyms and be but always too knackered by the end of the day. There's always a drama going on in whatever business you've just been to. You're stressed. You think, just get home, and you think, I'll just have a drink now. And then you just think, can't cope. I'm going to just put a stupid film on. I'm going to Netflix something. There you go. But now, totally different. So you could do all your exercising. Yeah, it's wonderful. And I didn't realize, just with a couple of weights, that you could get so much done. So I'm losing weight, I'm slimming down. I'm not getting stressed. I don't think I can go back to how it was now. Yeah. I love people. but people do give you stress. And so to be a bit more hands-off is for me, is very useful.
What tips would you give to somebody? Obviously, you look very organized there in your home office. Now, with people perhaps working from home for the first time, what tips would you give them as far as, productivity or room layout, or even, their position of how they work? What advice would you give them?
I think you have to think about anchors, right? So anchors in your home or any space, it's got psychological meaning. So when you see certain things, you get into a certain space. So if you have an area where you work, you just keep it as work. So you've got little things around you that, like I said, I got my boards with my to-do list, and I've got things like this. So it reminds me, I've got to do the banking, I've got to check that, and all sorts of stuff, and just make it kind of the useful stuff that so you don't have to go hunting for it. Like, I've got to have things out in the garage now. I've got to go. Just keep it all in one place, and you go there and you get in that zone and you work, and then when you walk away from it, you're back at home. You're relaxing. You're getting away from it. It's like when they say if you're having trouble sleeping, don't have your laptop late at night in bed, because you're going to associate work with bed, and then you go to bed and you're stressing, because you've left an anchor there. So just be careful about your anchors. Just put them all around one certain zone, and that's where you work. And then other times, other places, that's where you cook with the kids, and that's where you snuggle up with whoever, and that's where you do your exercise. So I found now I do my exercise in one place in the lounge, and I got a nice view, luckily. So I go, oh, look at me, I'm the master of this view, and look, I could do 100 of these, and and I think, yes, I can stay here because I'm getting fit and I'm good at my business, and I give myself pep talk. And so every time I go there now, it's like, oh, the positive anchors. This is great. Look at this. I'm losing weight. Whatever it is, So yeah, just be aware of anchors. They're very, very important things. And in my bedroom now, nothing. It's just lovely books. And we got a nice routine as well. We developed a lovely routine. So I go to bed, and I've got a couple of things I like to read. And then Andrew reads to me. And now I've got psychologically, as soon as he starts reading to me, my body just goes, oh, sleep time. So it's the certain things, whereas before, you'd be so tired, and you're so stressed with running around, and you would take it to bed with you, and you're discussing it. No, we don't do any of that now. And, my sleep is much better, because before I was, 3-4 hours a night, that's all I was getting. And now it's much, much better. Yeah.
Wow. So when you look at it, COVID has brought you 20 more hours a week back under your control, because you're out on the road 4 hours just driving. Yeah.
Yes.
But you're losing weight. Yeah. Getting fit. You've got all your work organized all around you. You're still continuing to spot opportunities within the marketplace. And you're open for business, and you're doing business. COVID seems...
And you're getting bedtime stories.
Yes. Absolutely.
So it all sounds really positive for you, Kathy.
I can't complain. Yes, I'm grasping it with both hands.
Well, thank you so much for entertaining us, Kathy, and sharing with us your time. So thank you very, very much. Is there anyone else out there who'd like to ask Kathy a question about preparing to come out of lockdown and how to prepare for lockdown? Anyone out there?
Yes. Kathy, can you say it all over again, please? Because I've just managed to zoom in.
We've recorded it, Bev, so let me have the recording.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry, Kathy. You wouldn't believe how much I've rushed to get here. So, sorry. I can't believe the first thing I heard was thank you very much to Kathy, and I missed it all.
Don't worry. It's fine.
Anyone? Well, I think you've been so amazing. You've covered so many bases, Kathy. I'd just like to thank you. Oh, Cheryl's got a question. Cheryl?
Yeah, you know, you said you had quite a few businesses. So what are they then, Kathy?
Well, we've got the kitchen business.
Yeah.
I've got a building company. So we build extensions, well, anything basically we can build. And I've got a hotel.
Wow.
So various things, but all around kind of property. There is a theme there. I love property. Yes.
Cool. Thanks for that.
What's your hotel, Kathy?
It's Clive Lodge in Canton.
Ah.
Yeah. So it's five apartments to put it into. So we do self catering accommodation.
So are you having to almost come out of COVID with all these different businesses as well?
Yes. You can't leave them alone. They've all got to wipe their faces. So it's a bit of a juggling act at the moment, and but no, it's working very well. Yeah, we've been lucky with the hotel because we've been looking after key workers, so that's been good both ways. Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Incredible, isn't it? Well done.
Good girl.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. So do you want to create, before we come off the recording, Kathy, do you want to do a little plug for your business?
Oh gosh. So the Kitchen Bureau, we're creating homes for the new reality. So watch this space for innovation.
We put our hands together for Kathy. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
I'm just going to come off record, everyone, okay?
Can I say